So the lesson 17 is called Shrink the Extremism Circle to Expand the Moral Circle. Basically, the idea comes originally from triple threat by Majid Nawaz, the idea that you have a threat as a democratic liberal society. There are threats from above. Above is like from the sky, from the theologians, from the religious fundamentalists. Then you have threats from far right, like from the right-wing extremists, but you have also threats from what he calls regressive left, or kind of like too much of kind of illiberal, the left that has this illiberal bent and tries to kind of tries to maybe uses tactics that are illiberal and tries to diminish the or pursue some kind of illiberal totalitarian ideas. So there are these totalitarian ideas can come from above, from the right, from the far left. So this is like the extremism triangle, but I wanted to expand it by a fourth dimension, which is underground, so the sky or above from theologians, far right, far left, but then there is also underground, which is basically organized crime and this kind of far illegal activities. And so we should kind of, to preserve a liberal society, a liberal democracy, we should kind of try to shrink this extremism circle from these four dimensions in order for people to be able actually to communicate with each other on some kind of rational basis, even tolerate their differences, their opinions. So to kind of acknowledge that there are differences, different ideologies that people hold, they have different personalities and different brains, and so therefore they care about different values. For example, somebody cares or overemphasizes or is over-indexed on security. Someone else is too much focused on liberty or freedom, but not so much about, let's say, caring of others, the weaker ones, or caring about people who are at the margins of society. So we kind of need to make some trade-offs in a liberal society. We do it through politics, through voting for different parties, but there we need to preserve this middle, this kind of marketplace of ideas, a marketplace of products where we can exchange ideas without too much polarization, too much hate. And why is this important? It's to preserve a liberal democracy, but also to expand the moral circle. That's the other sentence from the argument. So we need to shrink, or try to shrink, the extremism circle to expand the moral circle. A moral circle is this idea that first we in the very past, very far into the past, we were just focused on our tribe, on our family. So the moral circle is like, I am as an individual, I care about myself, then about my family, then about my extended family and my tribe, that's, let's say, then my village, and then people care about other people in their cities or city-states, and then you expand to nation-states, which are currently couple of like 200-300 years there this idea of nation states, and then there is this idea of global village or global community or community of nations, like the United Nations, and the idea of that you can be actually a global citizen, that you should care about people in Kenya, about people in Myanmar, in I don't know, in all around the world, how they are treated, and if they are getting richer, if they are suffering less, these kind of ideas. So and then you can expand the moral circle even to other species. So let's say about caring about farm animals and how they are actually, those farm animals, how they are treated. If, for example, chickens have enough space to walk, maybe then you can think about even like coming up with some alternatives to farm animals, or to meat, like some plant-based meat or clean meat. And then you can even maybe extend the moral circle beyond species or beyond animals, beyond the earth, to, let's say, to strive for us to become interplanetary species, also to maybe fight some kind of global catastrophic risks and these kind of ideas. So for people, in order for people to have actually this bandwidth to focus on others, to focus on other ideas, they need to kind of calm down a little bit, and also kind of understand that there are these different ways how to think about things. There is not just one way, and there are different people that have very different biases, but also their priors, like their values that come with, and different cultures. But we should kind of try to tolerate them, but of course not tolerate extremism, because extremism might kind of really threaten liberal society. There is this idea of minority rule coming from Taleb, and so in a way this is the minority rule is also good. It's maybe beyond the topic of this talk, but it's also good to be intolerant towards intolerance. So it means like you need to fight to preserve the liberal society and the liberal discourse, just for not just as an end to itself, but to try to expand the moral circle, to decrease the suffering in the world. So this is basically the idea: shrink the extremism circle, the four dimensions, from the above, from the underground, from right, from the left, in order to expand the moral circle.